2, 1. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Good as Gold, number 41, on Tuesday, June 5th. I am OrD, that's ORD. You can find me all these beautiful sites down below. Special shout out to Zeke, our sponsors, that's z33k.com. Go there for all of your PC tournament gaming needs. Also, say hello to @RichardIsaac or SquallCasting. He's co-casting with me today. Hello, sir.
Hey everybody, super happy to be here. It's always lots of fun to cast StarCraft 2 stuff, and it's great to get a bit more experience doing stuff that's live as opposed to from a replay.
Definitely, it's an interesting way to do things. In the lower left-hand corner of the screen, doing a double extractor trick again, we have the orange Zerg. He is so beautiful despite his hideousness. It is Ben Thek, and I'm saying hideous because Zerg, I'm sorry, I'm a bit xenophobic. They're ugly.
They are kind of buggy creatures. And in the top right, as the red Protoss, we do have Asp Gnome. We're just going to call him Gnome for simplicity, so we're not doing tongue twisters continuously.
Even though that sounds oh so fun. We have the scout coming out here from Mr. Gnome. Oh, I'm going to struggle, aren't I? And Avarice right there laying up his YouTube and Twitter. Please check him out and let him know that you went over there and enjoyed or did not enjoy. Feedback of any kind to both of us is fantastic. Just let him know you came there because you saw him on Good as Gold. That way we both know if this kind of cross-promotion stuff is really worth it. I think it is, but it's always nice to have the confirmation.
For sure. And if nothing else, like I said, good experience. Now, Ben does seem to be going for, well, basically the same thing he did last game, where he did his double extractor trick. He's got his first extractor finishing now, so he's going to get that speed and then just lay the pressure on and just try to win on one base. So
looks like he is indeed doing that again. We're just following the probe on its epic journey back home there. The Overlord coming in now and is probably disappointed to see that there is no Forge Fast Expand going on, which means that Ben Thek may decide to abandon all of his early aggression, because by the time he gets there, I just am not sure he's going to be able to do much. We do have the Zealot out in that single spot wall. As long as his Zealot's on hold position, Gnome should be just fine, and Ben Thek will be significantly behind, economically speaking, unless he lays down that extractor and a Baneling Nest pretty soon. However, that's really rare. We don't normally see Zerg do that against Protoss. The engagement begins. We get some micro. Oh, the Zealot's being tempted out. Lots
yeah, that's a little bit cute. Another Zealot is going to finish here in a second, so he will be able to engage with those, but he's going to need to be careful. Yeah, pulling them back, just making sure that he's always got that little opening covered just to stay safe. So, yeah, some nice control out of Gnome there.
I like what he did, too, keeping the already slightly injured Zealot, or at least the shield-injured Zealot, behind. That was a good decision. He's also laying down some more gateways. He's chronoing out that warp gate, and Ben Thek is going to really need to commit to... Yep, there... Oh, never mind. It's a Roach Warren. It's also an option that Zerg has. And yeah, he's going with that expansion. Okay, I like that decision, too. He's keeping his opponent up on the one base so he can kind of catch back up, economically speaking.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you'd just stay on one base and channel his inner Leenock and just one base Roach all in, but I guess not. Oh. Not going to see that today.
I guess not. The Sentry is out now, and so even if Ben had tried for that Baneling bust I mentioned, it probably wouldn't have worked.
No, speedless Zerglings, Stalkers can kite those pretty much all day without too terribly much... Wow, I can't talk. Without too many problems. There we go. I was trying for a more complicated sentence that just wasn't happening.
It's all good. I mean, we're just casting. We don't really, speaking, it's overrated. Just as long as we have the right tone, that excited and interesting tone, then people are like, yeah. Or at least that's how I am.
I always thought the words mattered. You mean I could just make, completely unintelligible noises and people would totally get what I'm trying to communicate?
Exactly, because, they're watching, right?
Yeah, so, okay, I'll just speak in Zerg for the rest of the cast. You're okay with this?
Yeah, totally, completely. Okay. I'm not sure how to interpret tone when it comes to Zerg speech, and I don't even know, what do you call that? Is it Zergese? Zergish?
Zerganese.
Zerganese. Okay.
Most of it sounds very aggressive. You know, like the overlap. You know, like it really sounds like it wants to murder you, even though it doesn't have an attack. Anyway, we do have an engagement coming up here. We should probably talk about the game. The roaches are coming
Oh, the
down
sentry gets targeted down. That's a good win. And Ben can
Yeah.
get out of there. Oh.
Yeah, there's definitely too many zealots for him, though, so he's going to have to pull back. And, yeah, nice little win to pick off that sentry. We'll see if he loses any more roaches in the process. Gnome is controlling his stalkers decently, so he's getting some pot shots on. Or pot shots off, I should say.
Yeah, loses that roach. A really great follow-up aggression from Gnome here. And there's no saturation at the expansion. Ben is doing what I talked about in the last game where we casted of him and just using the expansion area as a macro hatch. Tons of Zerglings are coming out right now.
Yeah,
and,
they do have speed now. That's
nice job. These Zealots aren't even attacking back. They're still on move command. Oh, now they finally get a few swings, but wow, very good trade for Ben there. And Gnome making the right decision, retreating all the way home. Hopefully he has a few sentries coming in soon to make up for the loss of the early sentry.
Yeah, he is trying to expand. I feel he'll be decently safe about this with the number of zealots and stalkers he has, but we'll have to see. If Ben rallies forward more roaches, this could get pretty dicey for Gnome. He is getting an immortal out of the Robo facility. I would love to see him chrono boost that, because he's going to really need those to deal with those roaches.
Definitely will. Forge is also going down. I don't know about the Forge unless he's planning to like build some cannons with that. I think another gateway would have been a much better investment at this moment.
Yeah, at this point I would say don't worry about upgrades, worry about not dying.
Yeah, it does seem more important. The roaches come in
go.
with the
Big
lings
engagement.
behind. Oh, they get up and forward, and they get to target down the sentries. Nah, never mind. Never mind.
Wow, that went a lot better for Gnome than I thought it would. Honestly, he whiffed on those force fields a little bit, but had just enough zealots to beat back all those Zerglings, and then had enough stalker support to just push back the roaches. So, wow, I thought he was in for a world of hurt there, but
So did I,
held that off much better than I thought he would. So that's very nice.
And now we see that Ben was droning up behind that, and he, in fact, already had a few drones at that expansion. So when we open up the income tab, we see that it's still in Ben's favor, even though he only has one more harvester. However, 2 base against 2 base, when it's ZVP, even ZVT is never fun for the Zerg, as there tends to be a lot more attrition for Zerg players. The Observer for Gnome is in the base of Ben, getting quite a bit of knowledge about everything that's happening. He sees the expansion down, the double queen, or rather, only the 2 queens. And, the Overseer helping the queen too. Oh, not quite. How sad is that an Observer is faster than a queen?
Yeah, queens are not the swiftest units of all time, that's for sure.
I mean, it's not like they're overlords, right?
They're a bit faster than they used to be. The buff they got was actually a flat 25% speed increase, so like they still move slower than a floating barracks, but they move a lot faster than they used to.
Oh, right, yeah, that's one of my favorite things recently is to follow the overlords at the beginning of the game as they go to scout, because they just cruise.
Yeah, they get in quite a lot faster. Oh, but we got another engagement here. Zealots swinging off front.
Oh, nice, with the Zerglings coming in from the side. Those force fields pretty decent, actually, only sacrificing the 1 stalker to some lings. And
Gnome has to fall back, though.
Oh, nice out of Ben, committing to killing just that extra stalker. Oh, that force field, though, is going to really help out Gnome. Yep, he's going to be able to retreat just fine. Ben has his 3rd set up, though, and he's... Oh, okay, there it goes. Wow, 9 drones coming up behind that win out of that attack. And we see more Zealots being warped in for Gnome. Clearly going with the 2 base gateway army. Nothing coming out of the Robo facility anymore at all. Waiting on that robotic space so we can build some Colossus to kill those roaches. Ooh, bad decision out of Gnome to move in there. This Roach Ling army is way too powerful for Gnome. Okay, never mind. What am I talking about? He's got force fields. He's fine.
Yeah, like if he can stay at this ramp and do good force fields, he will be able to whittle away at this army. But until he has zealot support, he does not want to engage into that kind of army because, yeah, he just has too little stuff. He needs more stuff to be able to deal with that many roaches.
Definitely. Let's open up that units tab real quick, and we see that we have 14 roaches against 5 Zealots, 5 Stalkers, and an Immortal. I like Ben's decision to kind of hide down here. Oh, wow, he's actually trying to move
He's
out at
going to go for the
exactly the
ramp.
wrong moment, and
No,
Gnome
he's
is
going to
just
force field the ramp.
committing.
Force field the ramp.
Oh, he didn't do it. Okay, maybe he just wanted to kill the Zerglings. I don't know why he waited that long, taking a
Yeah,
bit
he
of
should have force
unnecessary
fielded
damage.
that much sooner.
But yeah, this is rough right now for Ben, who pulls all of his drones, and actually if he gets a surround on the Immortal with those drones, that might be great. He does kill the sentry so the roaches can get up into the main. Great decision out of Ben to pull those drones at just the right time, killing the sentry so no more force fields could go down. And now, Ben has twice the supply of Gnome, and I'm expecting a counterattack right now.
Yeah, that lair only had 271 hit points left, so it almost did die. But I feel the real, like, that was the idea behind that attack was great, but the real blunder was not throwing down a force field, or not throwing down a force field soon enough. And what you want to do in that situation is you move up the ramp, you put down the force field, and then you split up your army so you have your sentries in control group 2, and you just leave them at the ramp, and then your main army, the rest of the stuff, you just 1A into the base. And then you check back on your sentries and you just perma-force field that ramp until you're done killing the base. You know, you don't want to throw down he threw down 3 force fields, so there were 2 wasted force fields there.
Oh, did he?
That could have, yeah, there were 3 force field pulls.
I didn't see the other 2 go up.
Yeah, so he could have held back the army for a much longer time, and that would have bought him enough time to kill the lair. It's a hive now, and then potentially even get the roach warren, the spawning pool, maybe even the probably not the infestation pit. He would have been able to get 1 or 2 of those tech buildings as well, so he would still have lost the entire army eventually, but it would have been a better sacrifice. So
I agree with you. Just one note is that the Queen does have that increased range, so if you try an attack like that as Protoss, make sure you're aware of that Queen on the low ground sniping off your sentries that you leave near the ramp. Makes that whole dance a little bit more delicate, a little bit more like Ghost versus High Templar. And back into the present, I'm really kind of surprised Ben didn't go forward and attack. It's kind of allowed Gnome to catch back up a bit. I mean, there's still a 40 supply difference, but it's no longer a double supply difference.
yeah, and the real key here is that he now has 2 Colossi and he has 1/1 upgrades. And as soon as he gets to 3-4 Colossi, he will be able to kill infinity Zerglings and Roaches.
We got those ultras coming out now, and I kind of would have liked to see some transfuses go down on the hive, just considering it's so close to death. I'd be really afraid of a warp prism snipe right now. I mean, we do have just the Colossus in production, but a second Robo could go down because Gnome, well, he was floating at quite a high mineral count there.
Yeah, it looks like he dumped it all into Warpins.
Okay.
But, yeah, his army is starting to look a little bit scary here. The Ultras, I don't know how I feel about that, just because he's going Roach Ling Ultra, and the problem with Ultralisks is that they tend to get caught on other, like, friendly units and then aren't able to engage in properly, especially when you have lots of Zerglings. The Zerglings will actually prevent the Ultralisks from attacking, and while Ultralisks do lots of damage and have tons of health, if they aren't attacking, they're dead weight.
Yeah, actually, something I've heard discussed is giving the Ultralisk charge that they're talking about in Heart of the Swarm. That may happen, that may not. But something else I've heard them talk about is making it like the Colossus, at least as far as Zerglings are concerned, so it just walks over the top without damaging them.
That would make sense. I mean, you look at them and they're way high up over the ground with their feet, so that would make total sense, and I think that would solve a lot of the issues with incorporating Ultralisks into your army.
Definitely.
To be fair, I have started seeing some pros actually use Ultralisks pretty consistently, where they'll do like a Ultralisk Infestor mix, but it just takes very, very, very good control, and I don't know if Ben has control for that. That said, he is splitting up his army, so he's got the Ultralisks kind of off on their own, so that's a good decision. I'll let him engage in